Hey everybody, this is Randy Burns, and this is my last What's Happening at Lindsey Wilson. That's right, it's hard to believe, but this is my farewell edition to What's Happening at Lindsey Wilson. As most of you may have heard, but some of you may not. Just a couple weeks ago, I submitted my resignation to Lindsey Wilson College. I had a great opportunity that presented itself that I have been blessed to be able to take advantage of. And with that means that this chapter of my professional life is going to come to an end. But one thing that's not going to come to an end is the fact that I am a Blue Raider for life and will continue to be. And so we'll get more to that here in a little bit. But I wanted, for my last episode of What's Happening at Lindsey Wilson, I wanted to bring my good friend Travis Smith, who is the Assistant Director of Public Relations here at Lindsey Wilson. And the reason that I wanted you to be a part of this, my farewell episode of What's Happening at Lindsey Wilson, is because from day one, when I became the alumni director, we sort of had a vision about what we wanted to do and how we wanted to try to use this platform to grow engagement of our alumni. And man, what a fun and wild ride we've had over the last few years. And we're going to go back and look at some of those favorite scenes that we've had and some of those videos that we did that seemed to engage with people and people were kind of drawn to. But we'll be able to talk about a lot of things over the next few minutes. For those that remember 3 Minute Thursday, this is not going to be a 3 Minute Thursday. No. We may have to go a little bit past that, but that's okay.
But it's a farewell. Come on, give them a break.
Give me what are they going to do? Fire me? No, just kidding. Love you, Bill Lucky. But we're going to have a good time looking back over some things, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. But the college has grown so much.
Oh my gosh, so much is different from back even then.
Yeah, 2008. That I can't help but think that we have been a part of Lindsey Wilson College during what has to be, if not the most exciting decade in the life of the college. It's got to be, one of the two most exciting decades in the life
almost
of the
has
college.
to be. I mean, you look at what happened in 2010 when we started the football program. Not only did we start a program that brought so many extra students onto campus, but there were so many other programs that started at the same time.
If for those 3 Minute Thursday fans from back in that day, you might remember we did a countdown of the things that were going on, the new initiatives at the college around the 2009, 2010 school years. We did a countdown about what the Lindsey Wilson College family was most excited about, where they were able to vote. Football was number one.
Right.
We opened the Health and Wellness Center.
Oh my gosh!
That same year, 2010. During that time, we also opened our nursing program and the new nursing building. During my time as alumni director, we've opened Smith Hall and McCandless Hall and Keefe Hall. Just so much growth in the life of the college that we've been able to be a part of. But
this is going to be really difficult, I know. But if you were forced to only pick 3 of your favorite moments on the show.
Oh gosh. There's so many. Okay.
Or if you want to, you could also say it like, one of my 3 favorite moments was just this entire episode.
Yeah.
Or another moment might just be a thing that happened within.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I don't know. Well, okay, I'm going to group this one into probably a series of 4 or 5 that we have done with the Blue Raider football team over the course of the history of the program since we've added it. But I really enjoyed being able to highlight our football team as our program has sort of come to a head. And then, that the one that everybody seems to remember was the one that, one of the things you and I talked about was we wanted this, for the most part, to not be incredibly polished.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
We wanted it to be raw, uncut as much as unedited as much as we could. but then, but there were a couple opportunities that we had that you were able to use some of your expertise in editing to really kind of put together almost like a little short mini film as an intro. And people seem to remember the one that we did on football.
Yeah.
Where it started off and it looked kind of antique-y.
Okay, yeah. Is that the one where Coach Oliver threw you the pass?
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, I'm going deep.
Man, that was a close one. Are you ready for some football?
So that was one of my favorites. Just one of the funniest things I remember. We were featuring the growth of our residential facilities, and so we interviewed. I don't know if you remember this or not, but we interviewed some of our Res Life staff over in front of the Roundhouse, and it was frigid. I mean, it was cold that day. And so we're outside and we're doing this interview, and Dustin Harris, for those of you who remember Dustin Harris, was standing there, and we finished the take, and before you hit like stop on the recorder, Dustin like walked in front of the camera and said, "Woo, it's cold," or something.
He said, "Woo, I'm freezing."
Yeah, that's what it was.
Burns with this week's 3-Minute Thursday. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Woo, I'm freezing! Woo, I'm freezing! Woo, I'm freezing! Woo, I'm freezing!
But those are two of my favorites. This wasn't. I don't think a 3-Minute Thursday, but I remember I posted these videos on YouTube right about that same time. In addition to a lot of you know this, but in addition to my alumni programming responsibilities, I also have done fundraising, and so I was going shortly after I was hired. President Lucky told me that one of his best friends in the world was a lady who was the director of alumni relations at the University of Connecticut. Yep. And he said, she's phenomenal at what she does. I think it would be well worth our investment in your time to go up there and spend a day with her, just picking her brain. So I did, and I planned I just made like a 3-day trip out of it, and decided to call on some alumni of Lindsey Wilson that lived in the New England area while I was there. And so I sort of did a Randy on the road kind of thing.
We're on the plane going to Baltimore, so we'll see when we get there.
I used my camera on my phone to get up, and I remember there was like a shot where I'd gone to Nashville the night before, and I get up the next morning, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, it's me again. It's 4:07, and I'm getting ready to head to the airport on Thursday.
And I'm like
I
barely awake, and I'm saying, okay, I'm like getting ready to head to the airport, and it was just, to me, those kind of things, to be able to show a little bit about what it's like to be alumni director or to be a development officer at the college and go out and meet with people. But those are some of my favorite, some of my favorite memories. Now, there's obviously others that stand out too.
What do you think the weirdest thing we ever did on the show was? Weird, strange.
I can tell you what the most painful experience I ever had on the show.
That was one of my questions, but if you want to do that now, that's fine.
Oh gosh! Thanks, Corey Ruff. Corey Ruff, coach of the Blue Raider wrestling team. He came in 2008, 2009, our first wrestling season.
Yeah, I believe it was 2009.
Was
somewhere
2009. And I went to interview Coach Ruff.
I'm pretty sure that was the first time I'd ever met Coach
Yeah.
Huff. Was it the first time?
It
you
was.
met
It
him?
was the first time I'd met him.
He was at the Roundhouse.
Yes, at the Roundhouse, and so I'm interviewing Coach Ruff, and I asked him the last question that I asked him was, what can we expect to see from our Blue Raider grapplers on the mat? And he said, "Why don't I show you?"
He said, "Show me some move or some
Yeah. Well,
technique."
Why don't you show me a move?
So one last thing, why don't you show me some kind of move without hurting me?
Okay.
I don't want to be hurt.
Okay.
But show me one move that maybe would bring about a victory that we can expect for the Blue Raiders.
Okay. All right. This is something we call a bow and arrow. Or the,
Oh God!
oh, sorry.
No,
okay.
you're fine, yeah.
Something I
Oh gosh!
might come across. You don't give me that load back.
Tune in next week for number 7 on the list of things we're excited about.
And the end result was I thought I had a dislocated hip there for a little bit, but
You were really sore for a few days after
my
that. I
gosh.
remember.
It was hilarious.
It was not like a joke. Like it really hurt.
And I'm just glad that I didn't I was man enough to keep him from actually putting me in that hole. A lesser man, Coach Ruff probably would have got that bow and arrow put in on him. But but that was the last time that I wrestled Coach Ruff. But now, one of the coolest moments was when I was able, fast forward a few years into our wrestling program, and we're now perennially a top 10, if not top 5 program, national runner-up. And I had the opportunity to wrestle defending national champion Joe Kozart.
Yeah.
What we're going to do, we're going to play a little game here. We're going to see, first of all, if I can escape a what's it called, a top bottom start.
Yeah, parterre stop, top and bottom.
Yes, we're going to see if I can escape national champion Joe Kozart,
Okay.
and then we're going to see if you can escape the anacondas.
Okay. All right.
And that's what they're called, boys. And so after that, I think you're going to teach me a trademark Joe Kozart move. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. Here, we better get
Oh, it just got real. Boom. Top man set. Ready? Wrestle. I think we got 2 and back. All right. Switch it up. Set. Wrestle.
He's out.
That's 5.
Go.
You got it. Come to your feet. Come to your feet.
Good stuff.
All right. You got how many points on me right there?
10.
Okay, 10 points. It's over. Okay, now, Coach was telling me there's a patented Joe Kozart headlock.
It's pretty patented. Yeah, it's called just a 2-on-1 headlock. Most people don't do it because it's pretty old school. It's from the late 70s and 80s. So
Hey, that's my day.
are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Jelly here. All right. So I'm get here. I get you to grab my neck. Yeah. I'm gonna open this up. Back still. Awesome.
But yeah, everybody said, "Oh my gosh, that had to hurt
Yeah.
something fierce," and I was like, "No, actually, it didn't." But like I said, I'm the lesser man. it may have hurt, but thank heavens, I'm not. But yeah, those are some of the coolest things. But probably the most rewarding videos that I remember doing working with you has been the videos that we've done with our All In for LWC campaign, going all the way back to the first year when it was just called Spread the Word.
Yep. It was Spread the Word.
And then it became the Chairs Challenge.
It was like first couple years, I think it was like Spread the Word, April 3rd,
Yeah.
Spread the Word, May 3rd.
Yeah.
We had the 3rd in there.
Yeah.
And then it transitioned, like you're saying, into
the Chairs Challenge with Mr. Parnell, and then
who's been great.
Oh my goodness, he has been so awesome. Mr. Parnell and President Lucky both have been incredibly good sports to do all the things that we've asked them
I don't
to
think
do.
they've said no to anything.
Oh no. You know, one of my favorite scenes from all of those was, I guess, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we were doing the one, and you and I had come up. You and I both are fans of like classic movies.
Oh yeah.
And not necessarily classic being just old movies,
Yeah.
but movies
we love film.
Yeah, that have iconic scenes, and you and I both are fans of the Airplane movie.
Oh yeah.
And as we were kind of laying out what we wanted from that movie, from that video to promote the campaign that year, we wanted to try to incorporate as many scenes from iconic movies, and so we did. Like Bob running across campus like Rocky Balboa, and students following him to the steps of Slider Hall. But I remember I shared with you. I said I've got this cool idea about like a sweating scene from Airplane.
Last year we had a record number of alumni donors, and for that I'm thankful. But it's simply not enough. We had 930 alumni donors. We didn't even hit 4 figures. The time is now. That we not only have to surpass 930, that we not only have to hit 4 digits. I'm looking for 1,100 alumni donors this year. Do you get that?
And you know, you and I have talked about how we think that that's had a big key in the success of the campaign, just getting people excited, let them know how fun it is, and people want to be a part of those kind of things.
What do you see as sort of, for lack of a better word, what do you see as the legacy that you will pass on in this position? And then also, what do you think you're going to miss most about being an employee at Lindsey Wilson?
When I was hired, Bill Lucky said that I want you to increase our percentage of alumni engagement in terms of the number of alumni each year that make a gift to the college. At the time, our alumni giving rate was something like 7.6%. And so I came in close to the halfway point the second year, and I was so good at my job that I actually lowered our alumni giving rate to 7.1%. And so we tried to educate people. We also started a process that has continued to evolve over the last 9 years of educating students while they're still here about what it means to be an active alum and a good alum of your alma mater when you graduate. And that started paying off as more young alums started participating. But one of the things, there's a few things that I'm most proud of, I guess. But one of the things that I'm most proud of is the fact that over the last 3 years we've had a alumni giving rate of right around 14 or 15%, and It took a lot of hard work, and it took a group effort from everybody, from the other fundraisers in the office and from our senior class each year to get involved with the senior gift program. And there were so many people involved, but that was one of the things that I was have been most proud of. And whether I'm meeting with somebody to talk about a big gift, or whether I'm talking to a young alum about making their first gift to the college of $5. I would get excited about both of them. And this is my last What's Happening at Lindsey Wilson. If you have not yet made a gift to Lindsey Wilson College this year,
he's sprinting through the finish line.
I can't tell you what it would mean to me. I've had so many people say such nice things to me over the last couple of weeks, and I appreciate all of them. But I can't tell you what it would mean for our last year, for whoever it is that's going to step into my shoes when I leave here, to be able to not have the same problem that I had that first year where I actually decreased. I don't want that next person to have to deal with a decrease their first year. If you've not made a gift to the college this year, I don't care if it's $5, I don't care if it's $1,000. Actually, I do like the $1,000 idea better, but even if it's $5, go online, give me a Christmas present, make a $5 gift to the college, and I can't tell you what that would mean to me. But okay, now back to our interview.
Yeah.
You asked the question, what am I going to miss most? Gosh, there's so much. You know, I'm going to miss my relationships with all of my colleagues that have become like family. I'm going to miss the relationships with my donors that I've built such good relationships with, and so many of them have become like family to me. Mm-hmm. I remember Kevin Thompson, our Vice President of Development, told me shortly after I started, he said, you know, the thing that he liked most about being a fundraiser is that we're able to deal with the same people year after year, and you build relationships so that they become like family. They become like, you know, grandparents or aunts or uncles to you. Yeah. And I'm going to miss being able to interact with them on as regular a basis as what I've been able to. But without a doubt, what I'm going to miss most is going to be the students. You're
right. You're right, big guy. We knew this would happen.
Lesser man would cry right now. Everything we do is about the students.
Oh, yeah.
I had the honor on my 10-year anniversary year of being an employee, of being asked by our HR department to give the keynote address at our employee appreciation banquet that year. And when I say it was an honor, it really was. It was an honor to be able to stand before this incredible group of people that have invested their time, talents, treasures, passions into the lives of students that we serve. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I don't remember word for word everything that I said in that short address that I made, but I remember the point that I made at the end was that every day we come to work and we have an opportunity to make a difference in the life of a young person here at Lindsey Wilson College. And there's too many days in my 12 years as an employee here that I took that for granted and I would forget. But I'm so grateful for the days that I didn't. Yeah. That maybe I was able to sit down and have a conversation with a young person and get to know them, or to hear their story and to hear some of the challenges that they had overcome. And it would make me remember some of the challenges that I had been able to overcome in my life. Not alone, but because I had people in my life who cared about me and who would invest in me and who would help me and teach me and nurture me. And to hopefully have played a small role in the lives of some of our students has made this experience so meaningful to me. And I know that's why our alumni who are engaged with the college are engaged. They want to be able to do that same thing from afar. They're not able to be here to work at the college, but they're able to make a difference in the lives of our students through their generosity, and to have been able to help represent them to our students has been incredible. And there's been so many fun things. Oh my gosh. Lindsey Idol will, when I think of what I'm going to miss most, it may be Lindsey Idol. You know, I was asked to be host of Lindsey Idol, or co-host of Lindsey Idol a few years ago, and me and Dr. Mark Dunphy were co-hosts of that show every year up until this past year. Of course, we lost him a year ago today, and last year we I had to take the stage without my sidekick, but. This coming year, someone else is going to be hosting Lindsey Idol, and it kind of makes me mad to think about it. But to be able to interact with all these students, you know, one of the goals that I had when I started, because I knew educating our students on what it would mean to be a good alum was important and something that we could do. You know, I knew that I could not come to know every student on campus. It would be almost impossible. You know, you have a campus of 1,100 students now, not counting commuter students.
Right.
And so I knew I could not get to know each and every one of them. But what I tried to do was I tried to make sure that each one of them knew me.
Yeah.
Or at least knew who I
Think
was.
of it. Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I tried to be so visible, and I tried to do like silly things with events on campus, and I look forward to hosting Lindsey Idol so that I was able to be in front of that many students and hopefully them get to know me. But yeah, working with our students, getting to know them and see them grow over a 4 or 5 year period. That's been the highlight of my experience, and that's what I'm going to miss most.
Yeah, I think that, well, I know that everybody's going to miss you at Lindsey Wilson College, and whoever comes in to fill your shoes has got some big shoes to fill, but anybody that knows Randy, and I've known you for over a decade now, knows that the move that you're about to make makes all the sense in the world if you know Randy. So we definitely wish him the best in his new endeavor for him and his family. And I appreciate you.
Thank you, buddy. For those who don't know, I have accepted a position with the Christian Appalachian Project, which is the largest nonprofit in the state of Kentucky, or the Commonwealth of Kentucky, in regards to philanthropic impact that it's able to make a year. They raise and distribute about $110 million a year for underprivileged folk in eastern Kentucky, and then they have like a further reach where they go serve people throughout the entire Appalachian region in other ways. But they have offered for me to become their director of philanthropy, in charge of the major gift and planned giving programs. And it's an incredible opportunity as a professional fundraiser, and I'm looking forward to that. I know I would never have been able to leave Lindsey for anything that I knew I could not be passionate about.
Right.
And I've shared this story with so many people that I've dealt with as a fundraiser who were my donors before. You know, I grew up a poor kid in Birchville, and you know, I knew what it was like to be on food stamps, and to be able to continue my professional career in helping make a difference in my fellow Kentuckians' lives who need that hand up is it's a remarkable opportunity, and I feel so blessed. I feel blessed to be able to do that, but I know without any shadow of a doubt that I have been blessed to be a part of the Lindsey Wilson College family, and that's the cool thing, and that's what the message I've tried to make sure that I've shared with our students and with our alumni, that you know, when you become a Blue Raider, it's not just for the time that you're a student, but you're a Blue Raider for life. And I coined that phrase shortly after I became alumni director, and I can't tell you how many times I've written that, either in an email or at the bottom of a letter. But it's the message that I wanted to get out, that you know, when we become Blue Raiders, it's not just a short time relationship that we have, but it's a relationship that the type of relationship evolves. You know, you're not a student for the rest of your life, hopefully. Get a job. But you're a Blue Raider. You get to be an alum of Lindsey Wilson College, and that's an honor. And I'm just so honored and privileged and blessed to have been able to serve our alumni the way that I've had the opportunity to.
Absolutely. You should be the closer, man. This is your last.
So, for Travis Smith.
For Coach Chris Oliver. For most of the Res Life staff.
For Natalie Vickus.
For Sam Kiger. For Dr. John Begley. For Max Wise. For Dylan Beasley. Mikey Davis.
For Dr. Patricia Paris. For Dave Calhoun.
For Holly Spirit. For Jacob Beckley. And for Morgan Sexton.
So, for Travis Smith, this is Randy Burns. And that's what's happening at Lindsey Wilson.
I'm not dying. I'll be back for homecoming. See you in October.